Hi everyone, Brianna here. I hope you all are doing well today. Today I will be presenting you all with my Human Services and Veteran Affairs presentation. Today I will be focusing on a licensed clinical social worker who works with our veterans and service members. The points of focus that I will be highlighting today are the description of a VA social worker, the responsibilities of a VA social worker, the typical day of a VA social worker, their salary and wages, their education, how do I align with the core values of a VA social worker, and any historical significant points that have been made through the history of veteran affairs and social workers. The brief description of a veteran affairs social worker is someone who helps assist veterans, their families, and caregivers in navigating personal health challenges and helping them to maintain a healthy well being. That includes a variety of things such as looking for homes, any type of crisis prevention. They take care of a wide variety of things, and a wide variety of services are offered by VA social workers. Some of the things that I just listed do fall under the responsibilities of VA social workers. VA social workers' responsibility include, but are not limited to, connecting veterans and their families and caregivers with resources, services, and programs that address psychological care, health care, housing support, social support, economics, financial literacy, crisis intervention, substance abuse treatment, case management, and benefit assistance. While all of these are important, I would like to highlight a few to me that kind of stick out from many of the veterans that I've talked to, including my father, and they mentioned to me how these type of services and support that they get have come in handy for them. And those benefits are benefit assistance, crisis intervention, and housing support and health care. Those four support elements I hear all the time from veterans. Healthcare is primary, and from my standpoint, I feel like our veterans come home and they're almost mistreated in a way. You know, the VA wants them to have 100% disability, but they only give them 20% disability, and they really make it hard for our veterans to have a comfortable living situation when they come home. So, VA social workers help with healthcare when it comes to the bundling of their benefits, their military benefits, helping them find the right doctors and specialists for whatever they may need. It's tailored per individual. Housing support. It's so sad to see so many veterans out on the side of the road with their dogs because they have nowhere to go. Their family is either far away or they don't have any family in general to help support them. So they come home with nowhere to go and they're stuck on the side of the road, and that really tugs at my little heartstrings. The next case would be case management, which is very big with social workers in this field because that's primarily all of this bundled in one. The case management, like I said, per individual, everything is individualized and goes per service member. So what one service member may need, another service member may not. So everything is tailored and individualized. And then benefit assistance. Benefit assistant encompasses the service members' benefits from the government, which is an array of things that I'm not going to go into explicit detail about. But I know within those benefit assistance, their health care is included in that. I had mentioned being 100% disabled before. Not every service member gets the opportunity to be 100% disabled, and it's a long, hard road to get to being 100% disabled and getting the benefits that come along with that. And I would know because I've heard my father on many occasions talk about how they're making it very hard for him to reach his 100% disabled status, and they had him go through many psychological tests, many healthcare tests, and it was just an uphill battle. So VA social workers encompass a lot of these on a day-to-day basis, and their clients are very individualized, but they do see most, if not all, of these programs and services. A typical day in the life of a VA social worker. Like most social workers, they're taking on caseloads because they deal with case management. Their caseload consists of the continuing care of their clients. They help with discharge planning. They provide individual case management on a per basis, on, like I said, needed by person. They coordinate admissions to different services. They provide evaluations, whether that be psychological evaluations, medical evaluations, anything to get these service members the help and the services that they need. They also help with treatment, and they get them to where they need to be as far as those services go, and the follow-up process, making sure that if anything is out of whack, it gets put back in place so our service members can have a smooth transition. They also manage VA benefits, like I had mentioned before, and VA benefits is a whole topic of and in itself. Like I said, it encompasses healthcare, which is a really big part of the VA benefits. It encompasses housing, um, and it also encompasses financial planning and stability of how much money the government continues to give to these service members after they've come home and they've re-entered into civilian life. And like many social workers and teachers and counselors, VA social workers also educate their clients on a variety of healthcare plans, self-sufficiency services, to make sure that when our service members come home, and once they've been home, because it's not only for members who are coming home, it's for members who have been home and who are already actively back in civilian life, to make sure that they can be independent, they can rely on themselves or even rely on the help if need be, but yet they can be self-sufficient and attain the things they need to obtain on their own or with a little bit of guidance and help. The local, I mean, excuse me, the salary of a VA social worker, a clinical licensed social worker, was a little tough to find because the numbers ranged. But the median price that I found for North Carolina, the median salary is $65,000 to about $101,000. Now prices vary per location. Some rates are higher, some rates are lower. As you can see, the salary nationwide is $94,000. Included in that salary, we all know that when it comes to being a licensed clinical social worker, that a MSW is required. So the education for a licensed clinical VA social worker, they would have to complete their BSW per usual, maintain their MSW, complete any post-degree supervised experience and hours that they need to get up under their belt. They have to pass the ASWB clinical examination and then apply for their state licensure, because different states, different rules, different services are provided. So everything, like I said, is tailored per individual and then per state. But with there being so many different branches of social work, the time frames may vary for when a person may complete their degree. It's typically between 6 to 8 years, but depending on what path they choose to take, it may take longer or it may take shorter. How do my core values align with the VA social worker? When I did my Howling Codes assignment a few months back, I was pretty much categorized in the group of social, enterprising, and conventional. And then my worth ethics highlighted that I had a need for relationships, support, and achievement. And I feel like those categories can really be woven into not just VA social work, but social work in general, because I feel like social workers crave that need for relationship to make lasting bonds and friendships, because you're helping these families reach a level of achievement, a level of success, a level of independence that we all strive and we all want. And we know life throws its challenges at us all the time. So for me, building relationships with my clients, I'm speaking as if I were a social worker with the VA. I would really want to harbor and foster quality relationships with the families and or the service members that I work with, because they are important. They need to be seen and they're valued, and I think that's important for them to know. I wouldn't want them to feel like they're just thrown under the bus and left out to dry, because that's kind of how I feel some of our veterans are being treated, because it's so hard to get them the access to the services that they need. Even though they're amply available, they just make them harder to achieve. But I feel like helping veterans, service members, and their families and caregivers to achieve their highest level of personal wellness, self-sufficiency, and comfort is the number one goal that I aim to achieve. No matter if I end up working in a VA or not, it'll always be tailored to making sure my client is better off once they've dealt with me than they were before they met me. Some historical facts that I did find out about VA social work are that the United States Department of Veteran Affairs is the largest employer of master's level social workers in the United States. Because we most know you could get your MSW and keep it, or you can climb up the ladder and get your doctorates and any other levels of social work in between there. Social workers have been employed in the VA since 1926, and Veterans Bureau General Order 351, dated June 16, 1926, established the VA Social Work Service and VA Central Office, outlining its organization and functions, which is what we know today. Miss Frances Foster, a neuropsychiatric social worker from Cincinnati, was hired to begin setting up the National Social Work Program and to assist in the transition of social work, moving her staff from the Red Cross to Veterans Assistance, which kind of separated the two, so the Red Cross is its own entity and the VA is its own entity also. These are my references. I hope this was informative. Sorry for the isms and the schisms. I'm getting over a cold. But I hope you all enjoyed the presentation and it was informative, and I hope you all have a great Christmas holiday.